Well, good morning, Lionhearts. How are you today? Just want to thank everybody for being so supportive and watching both of my videos that I posted yesterday. Everybody's been really cool, and I did get one comment that made me think. I got a troll comment going like, oh, he got a new lens. Now he's going on this fancy vacation to Europe. And it made me realize that I have a lot of new subscribers lately that may not know the reason why I'm going to Europe. I know immediately some people are like, oh, here we go, another YouTube traveler. Let me give you a little bit of backstory as to why I'm going. This goes back 17 years. Yep. 17 years ago, I moved to Hollywood, California to attend music school when I was 18 years old. The very first place that I moved into and stayed at while I was waiting for school to start and looking for an apartment was a hostel on Hollywood Boulevard. I met a friend inside that hostel named Michael, and Michael and I ended up being in the same music school, the same classes, eventually became friends, and then he was in my band for 7 years. We've been best friends ever since, and Michael is from Sweden. He's from a little island in Sweden called Gotland, and he's for 17 years wanted me to come visit his island and see that culture because he knows I love to travel. However, I don't have the money to do that, so I've never been able to go. And now all these years later, Michael is getting married, and Michael has demanded that I be at that wedding any way that it has to happen. So I'm gonna be there. Like I said, we've been best friends. Michael's the kind of friend that when your car breaks down at 4 in the morning, Michael will come help you. And Michael has a job that is so important that he shouldn't have to do stuff like that. And yet he does it anyway because he's a real friend. And so when a friend asks you, please come to my home country and come to my wedding, be one of my groomsmen, and just in case something goes wrong, please be my secondary to perform the ceremony should that have to happen. And that's why I'm going. Michael is supposed to have a wedding in the church in Sweden, but Sweden has a weird law, and that law is that since Michael is marrying a woman not from Sweden, the Swedish government has to interview her, basically to make sure that she's doing this on her own volition. And so the problem is that they won't let you do the interview before a certain amount of time, and they won't let you schedule it before a certain amount of time. And so when he scheduled the appointment, they couldn't guarantee that they would get the meeting before the wedding. And if they don't get that meeting before the wedding and they don't get it sanctioned, they can't have the church in the ceremony, which means that the woman who is going to do the ceremony won't be able to do the ceremony, which means they would need somebody else. Me, Grimlock. I am an ordained minister through the Life Church online. But I have performed ceremonies before, and as I've pointed out before, I have a 100% rating. The one ceremony I performed has lasted, so that's the deal with Sweden. It's been all these years. He wants me to go. He's having his wedding. I'm going. It's not like a, hey, I got extra money, let's go off and film awesome vlogs. The filming awesome vlogs is just a byproduct of being there for 2 weeks. And the reason I'm going to be there for 2 weeks is because he's actually building a pretty big structure on their property to hold the whole reception and everything, and he needs all of his groomsmen and all of the people involved in the wedding to kind of help build it, help get everything in order before the wedding. So that's the deal. Trolls, take that. So the reason I bring that up is because today we're all meeting up. All the groomsmen that live in the United States, we're all meeting up today for a secondary fitting for suits for the wedding, and we're going to hang out, and I'm basically waiting to find out when we're going to do that so that I can plan our vlog around that. Hope that makes a little bit more sense. So when I take off in 3 weeks and you start seeing vlogs from Denmark and Germany while we're traveling to get the booze for the wedding, and then you see all these vlogs from Sweden, Visby, Gotland, you'll understand why. Daze's Jordan the Line begins now. Well, good morning, friends. It's our first outing of the day, and Jaw has picked a beautiful classic car to come over here and take a whiz by. Class act he is, my pup. How are you guys today? I don't know what we're gonna do yet. Still waiting to hear an official word on what time we're gonna be doing this fitting. It sounds like it's gonna be somewhere around the 3 o'clock range, so the real question becomes, what do I vlog today? I have 4 pages of vlog ideas, about 400 and something screenshots. Possibilities are endless. just in case you needed your palm tree fix for the day. There you go. Must be a strictly mustard only kind of guy. One of the vlogs that I've really wanted to do for a while, guys, was I wanted to go in and vlog the Grammy Museum, but I looked into it and they don't allow any photographs, any recording, nothing. Which is a bummer because I'm pretty sure they have some of Michael Jackson's most famous jackets in there. So I may go tour it and do it anyway, and then part of the vlog is I'll just come back out and tell you what I saw, and maybe I can find pictures online. Like, I know that's not the greatest vlog, but I would love to just see it, and I'm sure you guys would love to know what's in there. Well, when we went for our first fitting the other day, John and I both said that we wanted to wear French cuff shirts, and so they told us, hey, if you want to do that, bring your cufflinks to this fitting. So these are my cufflinks. I just thought I'd show you guys. I've had these for years. I went through a phase where I was wearing like shirts and ties almost every day. I would get home from work and put it on. I don't know why. I can't explain why. But I had like 5 or 6 pairs of cufflinks, and these are the ones I'm going to wear to the wedding. Alright gang, as soon as I find out when I can drop you off, we're going to take off and go do the vlog before the fitting. I'm going to give you one little hint. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings with a single bound. Up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. We're going to go visit one of the filming locations for that show. I also found my elephant cufflinks. As much as I love lions, I used to also have an obsession with elephants and lions, and this was my elephant cufflinks and stuff, but I think I'm going to stick with the Roman looking ones. Hey Ja, you ready to go to Pollyanna's house? Let's do it. Goodbye, Pollyanna. Well, we've made it out here to Tarzana, and Tarzana has a pretty interesting story itself. I mean, the name itself is derived from Tarzan. Edgar Rice Burroughs actually owned a gigantic ranch that now is what Tarzana, the city of Tarzana, is based around. This was his ranch. And one of the interesting stories about why I brought us out here is because right on the site of where his old ranch was, they actually filmed an episode of The Adventures of Superman, the original Superman, in 1953. It was season 2, episode 3. I think it was called The Man Who Could Read Minds, and it was filmed right here. On the 100th birthday of the 2 co-writers of Superman and George Reeves, they decided to put a plaque up honoring The Adventures of Superman. So that's what we're here to see today. Now here's the house that we actually see in that episode, and all 5 of the main characters of the show are here. Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, they were all here. And you actually see Jimmy Olsen running across this yard chasing down the burglar in one of the scenes, and then you see the stakeout happen here as well. And it's right here on the corner that they put this plaque here. And like I said, it was 60 years of Superman history since it was founded, since they started doing the television series, since they started doing the comic book in the 30s. And they put this here in remembrance of Joseph Schuster and Jerome Siegel and George Reeves' 100th birthday. Which I thought was pretty cool, so let's take a look at it. It says Adventures of Superman, production years 1951 to 1957, episode 29, The Man Who Could Read Minds. A portion of this episode was filmed here in June 1953 at 5400 Wilbur Avenue, Tarzana, California, and the only location seen to feature all 5 main characters. Editor Perry White, John Hamilton, reporter Lois Lane, Noel Neal, who replaced Phyllis Coates after the first season, cub reporter Jimmy Olsen, Jack Larson, Inspector William J. Henderson,
Robert Shane, and reporter Clark Kent Superman George Reeves. A police stakeout scene was filmed at this location, and a fight scene between Jimmy Olsen and the Phantom burglar were filmed here on Wilbur Avenue. Additional chase scenes were filmed on Lynette Street, which is right behind us. Dedication to this plaque, provided by fans of The Adventures of Superman, was held on August 16, 2014 to commemorate the 100th birthdays of George Reeves, Superman creators Jerome Siegel and Joseph Schuster, and over 60 years of The Adventures of Superman. So basically everything that I just said. I probably should get in the habit of just coming up and reading these things before I tell you guys a story and researching it all before I get here, but they're absolutely correct. You do see the chase scenes of their Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen's car going up and down this street. And then you see them make the their left-hand turn onto this street, and they're actually parked in the episode right over here across the street. And you see Clark Kent and the other inspectors are standing right here, pretty much right in front of the front doors, and they're talking right here. And all of a sudden you see Lois Lane get a brilliant idea, and next thing you know, you hear the doors slam to her car door, and Lois and Jimmy are there and they take off. Fortunately, I was actually able to find a copy of this online so I could watch it and I could match things up and see where everything happened, but unfortunately it wasn't on YouTube or Vimeo or anything that I can kind of steal and put the clips in here. I had to find it on Kodi. So if you go to season 2 episode 3, you can find this episode and you can see all this stuff happening. And actually, when they did the plaque ceremony, Jimmy Olsen was actually out here for the ceremony, which I thought was pretty cool. And they said when they did the ceremony, the family that lives here, the little boy was like 5 years old at the time, and he was a big Superman fan, so he was really honored to have a Superman plaque in his yard. There it is. You can find this. I'm sure you'll be able to find this. I actually, I love this Adventures of Superman because this was on Nick at Night when I was growing up, and I used to watch this at night. And then of course I was fascinated by the whole supposed suicide of George Reeves, who was a kind of a local hero. He was a Pasadena boy. He grew up in Pasadena, so it was pretty cool that he became the man who was Superman. There's actually a history to him, and he's buried out there in, I think, Altadena. Maybe I'll go out there at some point. But the reason I say his supposed suicide is it's an accepted idea that he committed suicide, but I have read in so many old history books about old Hollywood that that was another one of those cases of the Eddie Mannix MGM cleanup job where George Reeves was actually having an affair with somebody else's wife, and they had him killed, and the fixers, Eddie and George for MGM, came out and made it look like a suicide. And one of the pretty cool things also that I loved about this was, like I said, that this house was actually on the property of the old Edgar Rice Burroughs Ranch, which is what Tarzana was named after, and they actually named all of Tarzana after Tarzan. The daughter of Joseph Schuster said that her father would be immensely honored because he was the biggest Edgar Rice Burroughs fan ever, and to have this plaque now on his property would have been a true honor to him. I am forever amazed by all the cool things that I can vlog out here in Los Angeles. I mean, it's just like, anytime I know I'm going to a different city, I can just start looking around and there's something worth seeing. I think it's why for me, it's like the best city to vlog in, because if you love movie history, you can think that you know everything, you can think that you've seen everything, and you will never have seen everything. That right there is proof of it. I have some mail to go out, so we're gonna ship it out now. All right, a handful of you. Beatles Ringo Starr memorabilia is on its way. I still have a couple pieces left to give out, but a couple of people I decided on already. It's on its way to you now. Enjoy! Well, Michael is treating us all to lunch for braving this 100-degree weather to come out here and get our fitting done. Pretty nice of him. He said this place is great, so there's gonna be 5 of us today for this. Well, Michael got sick after lunch, so he took off, so we're here doing the fittings on our own. We apparently can be trusted. John actually had this extra suit jacket that's too long for him, and it fits me, so he gave it to me. Sweet.
He's just getting the clouds.
Wow. Alright guys, well we got the fitting done, but I didn't show you any of the suits because obviously we don't want anybody that's involved in the wedding to see them before the wedding, so we're gonna head back to Hollywood. That's right, 113 degrees today in Los Angeles. Well, no bueno, got a flat tire. Well, I got my donut tire put on and I drove to a tire place, but the tire place that I go to is already closed because it's Saturday and they're closed tomorrow, so either I'm gonna have to overpay and go somewhere else. Well, gang, I just wanted to call it a night. I wanted to thank Donna Spacuzza for becoming my newest Patreon. What a weird day. 113 degree weather. Michael gets sick at lunch. Can't go to the fitting. I get a flat tire. I ended up not getting a new tire because I went to Pep Boys, and Pep Boys was going to charge me $70 more than the place I normally go for new tires. So I'm just going to have to wait until Monday and get new tires on Monday morning. And I got a pretty interesting email tonight that I wanted to share with you guys. It's one of those moments that you're like, that is so cool. Somebody sent me an email and just said, hey Jordan, I just wanted you to know that one of my very best friends from high school I'd lost contact with, I noticed joined your Facebook Daze with Jordan the Lion's Facebook page. And we haven't talked since high school, and we were able to reconnect through your group. So I just wanted you to know that, and I thought that was awesome. That's just like one of those ways even beyond the vlogging and the experiences and the adventures that I'm surprised that I'm able to be a part of people's lives. It's pretty cool. So thank you very much for letting me know. That makes my day. So have a great night, Lionhearts. Until tomorrow. I know, I like the uncomfortable silence. Have a great night.